Okay. Okay, I bet we will start with the opening of the way and get our session going.
All right. Uncle Ma, Bet. Welcome to our Sunday prayer session. As we begin, as we always begin, we begin with our ritual from our elder, Baba Haru Sabyt. We begin with opening of the way. So we begin with facing north and we get into our pose of adoration. Netrak in Bahet, Nuke in Bahet, Netrak Happy, Nuke Happy, Tuau and Tor, turn to your right. Netrak Circuit, Nuke Circuit, Netrak Kepsanuf, Nuke Kepsanuf, Tuau and Tor, turn to your right. Netrak As, Nuke As, Netrak Amset, Nuke Amset, Tuau and Tor, turn to your right. Netrak Neat, Nuke Neat, Netrak Tuamutaf, Nuke Tuamutaf, Tuau and Tor, turn to your right. Netrak Nuke, 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 Netrak Get,
Nuke. Get.
Nuke Get, Tuau and Tor, Netrak Shoot, 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 Nuke,
Shoot.
Netrak Teflon, 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 Nuke, Teflon, Tuau and Tor, Netrak Paut, and Nuke Paut, and Tuau and Tor, Netrak and Bull, and Nuke and Bull, and Tuau and Tor,
Well, for that beautiful effort vibration sent out this morning, Netter.
That's so powerful.
It is very powerful. I could feel the vibration. I hope you all participated and felt it too. And of course, before we get started this morning, just giving out our flowers as usual. First and foremost to our ancestors, near and far, to all the Neteru that surround us, and the plugs to our ancestors. I'm going to give our flowers to our Chief Elder Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samaj Sepata, the head and chief of our shrine, which would be Himneter in Tepi Jabari, and of course to our beloved elder here, Himneter Waziri, who leads our prayer sessions weekly. I'll turn it over to you, beloved.
All right. So for the day, we're gonna come from one of our favorite texts is dealing with spirituality before religion by Professor Kaba Hiawatha Kame. We're gonna go to page number 44 and we're gonna look at the third paragraph, which deals with spirit. People always talk about spirituality, but what is spirituality? And let alone Brother Kaba breaks it down. So when you talk about spirit, Dr. Richard King defines spirituality as a state of consciousness of profoundly expanded awareness that is achieved by a process of educational initiation in a Kemetic University mystery system as grade 3. Being in unity with light, a state of being in which a human develops the knowledge and the will to free their own soul from the chains of their own latently divine physical bodies to develop inner vision and operative eye of Heru. After millions of years, the human body, head, torso, and lower limbs evolved to its divine proportions, and ventri- the four ventricles of the ventricular system balloon open in the limbic system of the brain. At this moment, the mind had a spiritual epiphany. The human sight remembered its divine purpose. Let me go back to that again. At this moment, the mind had a spiritual epiphany. The human psyche remembered its divine purpose. At this sacred time, like the same moment at the Big Bang, the mind recalled what the Creator had thought before the beginning began. I want to know myself. Scientifically, this moment would have occurred at the Homo sapiens sapiens stage of human life. On the cosmic calendar, it would have been during the last 3 to 4 seconds of the cosmic year. And evolution inspired the human ka spirit to recognize itself by recalling its original source, the noon, the universe. The further inward you travel within your body, the purer the energy gets. As you go outward, the more physical energy materializes. While invisible by nature, the chakras are spinning wheels that activate and harmonize matter and energy, body, and spirit. Involution's purpose is to search, find, and motivate the creator within each human masterpiece. Once the creator is recognized and embraced, the spirit, which becomes conscious of its consciousness, as each human goes through the spiritual journey, his or her soul takes shape and metamorphizes its metaphysical potential. Dr. Somei informs us in her book, The Spirit of Intimacy. Spiritual inspiration's purpose is to bind us in a way, in such a way that we maintain our connection, not only within ourselves, but also with nature. Spirit helps us fulfill our own life's purpose and maintain our sanity. Spirit is the life force in everything. Spirit helps us accomplish our life's purpose and maintain our connection to the cosmic spirit world. Dr. Somei creates an image of spirit that will again reveal itself when we analyze the African text carved on the walls, the coffins, and the papyri in Kemet. Spirit exists. Spirit is the essence of actualizing spiritual. It is what makes our dreams reality. Spirituality is a way of life. It is in all things all around us. Each of us has access to the Spirit. Although Spirit cannot physically be seen, heard, tasted, smelled, or touched, it is the very nature that allows us to see, hear, taste, smell, and touch all things invisible. Spirit is our third eye, nostril, and our second tongue and skin. The blood pumps the heart. The heart does not pump the blood. The blood is everywhere in our body. Just like the soul, our soul, as we will discuss later in this chapter, is the individualized, unique spirit in each living essence. The soul is the force that energizes the spirit. Again, let me say that again. The soul is the force that energizes the spirit. In regard to evolution, Dr. Somei says, life is the search for spirit. It is an intimate journey. The body dies when the life-giving animating force of spirit leaves the body. The spirit does not die. When the body dies, the spirit moves on to the next world. When the spirit is captured by the body, the soul is born. The soul is the personal energy that each living thing possesses. The science of spirit is the light, heat, and sound energy that emanates from the sun and reaches our earth through the sun rays. Dr. Edward Bruce Bynum, in his book Dark Light, reveals light is the invisible force that converts energy at rest into energy and motion. Spirit lives in light wherever we see it. Light is spirit in flight. Spirit lives in light, and light lives in darkness. Ashe. Wow. We get a chance to look at spirit, right? So nowadays, when people say, well, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Let's break it down. What do you mean when you say you're spiritual, right? It's so important. So I give it to Professor Kaba, how when he wrote this book, he really took time to be inspired by the spirituality of the M Hrw, and it's so powerful what he brings to us. So Shinkar, what you're muted.
Ashe, I didn't even realize I was muted there. But what you said in the beginning, what does it mean to be spiritual, woke, awakened, conscious, or reach this higher consciousness? People look at this as a chase, as if okay, if I reach a certain level of consciousness, I made it. And what this author here breaks this down, it's very critical, because this person now evidently has gone through some things and has evolved. And I thought it was powerful where it says, that in this portion here, life is the search for spirit. It is an intimate journey. The body dies when the life giving, animating force of spirit leaves the body. The spirit doesn't die. So when the body dies, the spirit moves on to the next world. And when the spirit is captured by the body, the soul is born. The soul is the personal energy that each living thing possesses. I made some notes when those words were coming out, and that's why I was muted, because I was really processing the words here and what you were speaking. Um, we all, a lot of us are chasing that higher spirit or that highest consciousness, but it's almost like we're having this human experience, but our software is trying to update the spiritual portions of it. That spirit essence is trying to remember itself, because again, like it says here, we're not new here. We're new in this life experience in this human body, but our spirit has come from another plane to this plane now. And all of us are facing this higher consciousness or trying to get closer to our spirituality. It's basically our spirits remembering what it is and how infinite it is, and remembering that it moves on. And it's also trying to connect with us while we're having this human experience. This is why we do the things that we're doing now. We don't just do it for fun. There is something, a life force, which is spirit, driving us to come here every Sunday, driving us to want to get closer to our divine energy, because evidently we all can agree that we know it exists. or we wouldn't be here and doing the things that whatever your walk of spirituality may be, you would not necessarily do them if there wasn't a life force behind that motivating you to get closer to your spirit, which is in essence getting closer to yourself. The difference in these teachings and then the Western world is that teaches you to chase a form of spirit that's outside of your body, that's outside of yourself. But if we are the image of what the M Hrw is, we are the M Hrw, which means we are trying to remember, reconnect, and be able to. And once we're able to do that, just like it says, we can actually fulfill and fully live this experience that we're having. So many are chasing a place to be where they may feel peace in their mind and they may feel, a certain status of or level of education or spirituality and become priests and become, these different titles. But what does it really say if you're not connected with your spirit, if you're just trying to fit an image of it? So where it says, I want to know myself, I want to know myself. It's great knowing you, Himnetter. It's wonderful knowing all of that. But do you know who you are? Do I know who I am? We can read all the books we want, but have we really delved into the spirit and connected with ourselves and show adoration to ourselves? When we say Anetarak in Heck, we're calling on faculties within ourselves. Are we truly getting closer to ourselves and allowing ourselves to become versus standing in the way of ourselves of who you truly are? I think that text is super powerful in that aspect.
And I thank you for the way you that the Netter have revealed to you to open up and share with our audience this text and what it means. It's very powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And these the text and the Sabayit that we read, these are written testimonies of other folks' experience. And what we do when we pick these words up, it becomes like they say that a lot of the spiritual books, they'll call those the living words and different things like that. Well, technically, we are the living words. When we read a testimony like this, when we read another lifer's experience, it should awaken us to want to get closer to ourselves. That doesn't mean go and be as Kaba has, because that was his journey. What he wrote is his journey, but it's still a guide to alert you to delve into your experience while you are here. And I think it's extreme. That's what he said. I want to know myself. It's just a huge, huge statement. It's a treatment, tenfold statement to say this. Are we really out here trying to get to know ourselves, or are we trying to be like the Joneses? Because in the end, when it's time for your scales to be weighed, you can't go up there to the Neteru and think that your scales is going to be weighed based off of you following the Joneses if you had not gotten to know yourself while you had the experience, while you've been blessed with the experience here. So again, you've done it, but that one is extremely powerful. I got to put a couple of stars by that one because it's important that we all remember why we're even doing the things that we're doing spiritually. And it's not an answer that's given to each other. It's an answer that we within ourselves have agreed upon, within ourselves have come to terms with. I want to know myself. You know.
So powerfully said. When you look at the paragraph, I'm looking at the part where it says spiritual inspiration purpose is to bind us in such a way that we maintain our connection, not only with ourselves, but also with the nature.
Hmm.
Spirit helps us fulfill our own life's purpose and maintain our sanity. Spirit is the life force in everything. Spirit helps us accomplish our life's purpose and maintain our connection to the cosmic spiritual world.
That's right.
So important.
Ashe. That is right. That is right. I definitely, you know, we do what we do over the internet, but the connection, you can, when the life force exists, you can feel the connection whether you're behind a screen, whether you're on the phone, if you are if you are really living in your purpose. And it doesn't mean you have to be able to identify or make bullet points about what your life purpose is. Today your task could be this, tomorrow it could be this. It wasn't what it was yesterday, you know. But our connection not only with ourselves, but also with nature, respecting nature, being one with nature, and everything else that include that has a life force within it, has a spirit. I think that's awesome. That's really, 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 really powerful. I hope that all of you listening to him that are able to take from that, and we should all ask ourselves why we do the things that we do spiritually. And is it to be closer to yourself and to connect with yourself, your divine self, and the nature around you as intended? Or is it really for show? Not an answer that any of us need to publicly answer. It's just thought provoking. Why do we do what we do? And be sure that you don't send your spirit through trend, because your spirit will always exist. And that's why it is so hard for us to remember and to connect with it, because it goes through so many facets of trends that stands in the way of its true nature. So I just hope that we can all reflect on our own selves and remember why we do the things that we do spiritually. And if that life force is motivating and it drives you, it will help each of us to delve even closer to our spirits and get out of our own way and live in the purpose, live in our each of our life purposes. All right. Do you have anything to add before we go into announcements, as well as our prayer for the end? I'm just going to take a look to see if we have any comments.
Well, as I look at the Sabyt, the life is the search for spirit. It is an intimate journey. The body dies on the life-giving animating force of spirit leaves the body. The spirit does not die. When the body dies, the spirit moves on to the next world. When the spirit is captured by the body, the soul is born. So the soul is the personal energy that each living thing possesses. So it's important to understand your journey as we go through this life, and understand that the spirit is the part that controls, and the fact that the spirit does not die. As we said, they go on to the next world. It's important to understand that.
That's right. That's right. And leave record. Leave record of your experience. I always think that that's important. Even if you're not into writing books, leave record of your account in this human experience for those in your family who will come after you. And it's not so that they necessarily follow. It's a matter of almost like coaching. Everything ancient that we look to try to find our way here. Now it's our duty to do the same thing. Leave record of your spiritual journey, so that those in the future, should they pick any of those testimonies up, just like we have in this book here, Spirituality Before we're reading a testimony. We're reading chapters of testimony of a life of experience. Leave testimony, leave record of your experience, so that one day when things are also uncovered, they can be picked up and uncovered, and someone may be like, this makes sense why I may be going through this, or or having this type of experience. Somebody else had a similar experience. So leave record, even if it's letters to yourself that you journals to yourself. Leave record of your experience, because these things, now that we're on earth, and look at how they are helping to guide us, we are obligated to do the same for our future. When we're not here, our record should be left. I think that's important. We do have one announcement, just in case many of you didn't see the message last week. I'm sure you all did. But the monthly meeting has been postponed till tomorrow, the 14th of July at 6:30. I think it's the only announcement. I didn't see any other particular announcements. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
No, not at this time.
All right. Well, again, it's always been a powerful. I'm going to read a closing prayer, and I'm going to read it in its translation status versus in the Medunetter, because reading the Medunetter, we all have, those of us who have gone through some of the Medunetter classes, some of the wording here in Medunetter I may not necessarily agree with, but the translation I totally agree with. So I'm certainly going to read this prayer as a closing prayer instead of our Amasu. It fits with what your reading was today. So it says here, Ma'at is the source of light. Ma'at is everywhere you are. Rise in the morning with Ma'at. Live with Ma'at. Let every limb join with Ma'at. Ma'at is who you are deep down. Adorations to Nethert Ma'at, who is everywhere you are. This is from the Berlin Papyrus, but this translation was submitted by Mut Semsut of the Raseki Artist Temple. And that is from Speaking with the Spirit. There are Kemetic prayers and different things like that. I'm leery about certain translations just because if some things don't sound compatible, I'd rather read the translations of the Medunetter instead of doing it a dishonor and maybe incorrect with some of the pronunciations. So I prefer to read the translation, instead. All right. Well, outside of that, I hope to see you all at tomorrow's meeting. And again, Himnetta Rosary, an honor you bring that heat every week. I look forward to what you're bringing to us next week. But every week, again, I can't tell you enough, giving you your flowers to let you know how this day and the things that you come up with and you share each week drives and motivates the week. It gives me that gear to go, so for whatever reason, it's always a driving force. So that in itself, what you're doing is also spirit, because there's light behind what you're doing. So I want to thank you and say dua for all that you're doing and continue to do for the Shrine of Ma'at and for me spiritually as a spiritual Baba to me.
Dua.
All right, I bet you all enjoy your week. See you tomorrow at the meeting. And I'm not sure if we have a session today. I think there's a medical session today, this afternoon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Until then, you all go forth in divine peace. Shimmy Ma'at.
Shimmer